who needs weights when you have 3 broken Xbox One X consoles? I paid a grand total of £120. As I said, they're currently broken, and the aim of the video is to try and fix them and then sell them for a profit or a loss. Speaking of losses, for the 9 episodes so far in this series, we are down £130. Today is the 10th episode, and I hope to try and claw that back a little bit. I have also made a change to our eBay selling fees. They're now at 6.9% rather than the 3% they were previously. So today might be rather tough to try and claw a profit, because if it's another loss, I should rename the channel Joey Loses Money. Let's get into our first console. For the first console, the listing states that it does turn on, however just presents an error message. So let's see if that's true. There's quite a few scuff marks on top of the console, and the back of the console itself looks okay. Doesn't seem to be any signs of anyone going in it because the warranty sticker is still here. That's good news. And overall, I actually think it's in good condition. In that case, let's go ahead and power it up. HDMI is plugged in, so is the power. It turns on, which is good news, always. Let's head over to our Elgato game scene and see what's going on. Okay, so it turns out we get no display on the screen, which again in the listing they said you get a display is just an error. I'm just going to wiggle the HDMI cable just to see if anything pops up on the screen, and even go ahead and deactivate and then reactivate it just to make sure. Okay, let's go ahead then and start it in safe mode. Start it in safe mode, you hold down the sync, the eject and the power button. There's 2 beep. I think that should be enough to get it into safe mode. And we're still not getting a display. I'm just going to try another HDMI cable and another monitor just to make sure. Nothing is being captured on the other monitor that I have. It looks like we have a no display rather than it displaying an error message. Let's strip the console down and get into the hard drive. Here's the 1TB hard drive. I'm going to plug this into the PC and just make sure that it reads. All right, so I've plugged it in. I've got my FD and C drive. I'm going to go to rescan. Does it pick up the drive? Yes, it does. Yeah, it says it is good. Disk 3. You can see the amount of times it's been powered on is 25,805, and it has a total of 4,261 hours of being on. So in this scenario, the hard drive looks fine. It's just a case that we have no display, which could be anything from the HDMI port itself, or most likely the retimer chip that we have on the board. I'm just checking the HDMI out port, which goes to the TV here, just to see if we have any issues, and it looks absolutely fine. This is the HDMI in port. That's not going to cause us any issues, but this one seems all right. If we zoom in that little bit closer, do we have any issues with the pins on the port? Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, is that a torn trace? It is. That's broke. They're all done for. Oh no. And I think they've all taken up the trace underneath. Look, this one, the trace is broke. They're all done for. Most of them anyway. Right, let's get this port off. This is going to be fun. At this point, just as I come to thinking, I've spent a lot of time and work on this, I think I'm done. I tested it and it still wasn't working. I decided to replace the retimer IC just to see if that potentially fixed the issue.
the missing pad on your screen now is ground. But again, unfortunately, we still had no luck.
I'm going to have to call it quits on this one purely because of time. It just means that we will have even more content for our live streams, and I will try my hardest to get down to the bottom of this one. Let's move on to Xbox number 2. The issue with this console specifically is that it can't connect to the internet via both Wi-Fi or Ethernet. That's what the customer was saying anyway. It could be a completely different story, but we're about to find out. So this one should actually power on, and we'll see how far it can go. Does it power on? It does. We get a beep. That's a very, very good sign. Next, do we get anything on the Elgato game capture? Is this listing going to be accurate? We have a black screen. Okay, this is good news. The console displays. That's a result. It's coming up with a check-in for update screen. I'm pretty sure the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth use the same card, and it's managed to pick up my controller. So let's see if it detects Wi-Fi. Okay, so this is the Wi-Fi screen, and as you can see, it's not picking up my Wi-Fi. First things first, I'm going to strip this down and take a look at the Wi-Fi card to see if we've got any obvious issues on that. And it might just be a case of replacing that Wi-Fi card. At least I hope, because it would be nice to have a little bit of an easier repair recently. Let me get inside this console. This is the Wi-Fi card itself. You can see that the IC is here, and you've got some very small components at the back of that, just 2 capacitors, I believe a resistor as well, and a few other resistors on the board. This card itself looks okay. It doesn't seem to be any issues, but I'm gonna go under the scope and just check maybe these resistors and these caps to see if we have any issues, rather than just straight replacing it. So caps are the thing to most likely go bad. So what I'm gonna do is put my multimeter in continuity mode, which is the mode that beeps when we have a complete circuit. Black probe is going on ground, and we're just going to check these caps here. So I'm assuming this is ground because the pad is underneath, and that's ground as well. Okay, so we have a short on one of maybe these capacitors. It also could be on the actual Wi-Fi IC itself, which, taking this off, looks like it's going to be a pain, purely because of the fact we've got foam right next to it, plastic and everything. So at that point, I'd replace it. However, I'll probably end up removing these caps to see if that gets rid of the short. Whilst I'm here, I'll check the resistance on this little resistor, make sure that is okay. That's currently reading 14/15 ohms, which isn't right, but I wonder if that's because of the short. So let's go ahead and take one of these caps off. Wouldn't recommend doing it this way, by the way, but it's for science. Okay, so that's one cap gone. Is our short still there? No. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. So we still have our short. Okay, let's take this cap off. There it goes. Do we still have our short? Yes, I think we do. Yeah, we still have our short. Okay, yes, we have a short here as well. Has our short gone? No. Okay. Take off that one, and we still have our short. Okay, all right. Then it goes through here onto the actual connector, pin connector we have down here, and it doesn't look like we have any other caps on the board other than just resistors. I think this is a 0 ohm resistor, and I think this, where is it? I think this might be a fuse, you know. Maybe this, okay, so yeah, maybe that explains it. Maybe this is the bad component, or a 0 ohm resistor. This must be a 0 ohm resistor. Let's eat you off the board. All right, do we have a short now? Yes, we still have a short. And would you look at that? The short doesn't exist on this path, so it's something here that is causing it. And on the back of this is said Wi-Fi IC. So simply put, we're just going to replace the board itself. Go ahead and slot this into here, just like that, and screw it up, and then give it a test. Okay, I've just powered the console on. Let's see if we get Wi-Fi. Okay, good, nice. All right, it's finding the network, which basically means that it's okay. I'm obviously going to blur this part out, but trust me, there is stuff there. And it's now saying there's a 4.6 gig update for the console, so we're going to start that. Okay, so we're on the home page now. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to check and make sure that there's a wired connection. I've just plugged my Ethernet in, and that seems to be all fine. So I don't know what the seller was talking about when they said Ethernet wasn't working, because it seems to be okay. Just some quick download and upload speeds. But that seems to be this Xbox One X fixed. Now we can move on to our third and final console. Third and final Xbox is looking in great condition. Doesn't look like it's actually been opened. Again, a result. Oh no, what's this? Is this CEX? It does say it sold for £190 as second-hand, unboxed apparently. But yeah, condition-wise, really, really nice. Apparently the issue with this one is the same as the first Xbox, which is it displays an error message on the screen. Let's see right now if that's true, and go over to our game scene. Yes, okay, good. E10 I say good, that should just mean a bad hard drive. I'll take the hard drive out, test it in the PC, and hopefully I'll be able to show you what a bad hard drive looks like. So here we have disk 3, which is the Xbox One, as you can see here, and it's reporting as good. Doesn't seem to be any errors from what I can see. It doesn't give me a percentage to indicate that it's starting to fail. And to be fair, it's only been on for 2,770 hours. Now that I have that information, I think we will be okay to use the same hard drive. I would personally only replace it if I was to get some sort of error message or warning message stating that it was starting to fail. It could be that the previous owner of the Xbox started an update, maybe the Xbox crashed or didn't like the update, and therefore it produces the E10 error. So what I'll do is I'll put the hard drive back into into the Xbox and try a completely fresh software installation. I believe I have the latest OSU 1 version on here, which is the software needed for the Xbox. I've had it on multiple occasions where if the software isn't the latest one from the Microsoft website, it won't work and the update will just go straight back to the start. Okay, so we're presented with the screen, we go troubleshoot, we go offline system update. Is it going to do the update? Okay, so far so good. I'll be back with you shortly after I've confirmed if the update's gone through or not. Okay, good news is that the update has gone through. I'll just boot to dashboard and check a few things. This seems to be absolutely fine as well. I haven't tested the disk drive yet, but Wi-Fi seems to be all good. I always like to try and give a console brand new thermal paste because chances are this Xbox that I'm working on now was manufactured in 2017. It's probably not had any fresh thermal paste since. It will just prolong the life of the Xbox One. Nice and clean. Ready for the new thermal pasta. There we go, lovely jubbly. The disk drive works and has installed a game on the hard drive, as well as me downloading an online game and playing it for an hour or two. I will mention in the eBay listing when I eventually do go to sell it that the hard drive had failed before, but with my checks seems to be okay. So I guess this is the time that everybody's been waiting for. Let's head over to Sally's spectacular spreadsheet.
I'm actually quite surprised that looking at the Xbox One X consoles, they go for £100. I was thinking I'd be able to maybe double my money and go for £80 per console. Looks like I might be able to stretch these to £100 each just for the console only, in which case entering the cost of the console is £120. The cheapest price I could find a replacement Wi-Fi card for was £13.69 on eBay. It's a shame I wasn't able to fix all three consoles, but because I'm able to sell two for £100 each, that gives us a sale price of £200, eBay fees £13.80, and our gross profit in today's video is £52.51. Honestly, I'm actually quite grateful just to be in the profit for today's video. I'll leave a video up here of our last episode in this series. If you enjoyed it, subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.